On this video we're taking a look at our NBA team picks and total picks for the games that are happening on Wednesday, May 4th, 2022. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Miami Heat vs Philadelphia 76ers. Our team pick is Miami Heat -8. And here is why. I don't want to hear about a near double-double with 16 points, 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Joel Embiid is out with an injury, and this Sixers team needs the version of Harden that can pile on the scoreboard. But does that version even exist anymore? That's a real question at this point, with a 32-year-old legend struggling to get back to vintage form, despite him wearing his third team jersey in less than 2 years. But then again, this Miami defense frustrates teams. They're the number 4 ranked team this season in defensive efficiency, with opponents averaging only 43.9% shooting against them at home. It's the heartbeat of their success. Philly isn't scaring anyone defensively with their primary rim enforcer gone. Things look mighty different down low without the human skyscraper surveying the paint. So this game will be about Philly's scorers Harden, Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. They have to get more buckets to survive this matchup. Every loss for the Heat is another chance for Joel Embiid to get back in this series for the Sixers. So Miami needs to keep their foot on the gas on Wednesday. They dominated on the boards and forced 15 turnovers in the opener. Their suffocating defense had the bearded James Harden plastered on the side of a milk cartoon. Make no mistake, the Sixers are still good on the defensive end of the floor, but they aren't great without Embiid in the lineup. Jimmy Butler and Tyler Herro must continue to set the tone on offense, while having faith in their defense to be good enough to take Harden out of the game as a scorer. That won't be an issue as long as Bam Adebayo continues to dominate on both ends of the floor. Miami's center benefits the most with Embiid being out, and he's taking full advantage of the mismatch. The Sixers were already coming into the series with the second least rebounds per game on average. Miami's ability to rack up on second chance shots is a problem that could continue to cost the Sixers greatly in this series. The Sixers are lost without Joel Embiid. It's a lot to ask of them to go on the road and beat the Heat in a playoff game without their best player on the floor. James Harden was initially believed to be a player that could potentially offset the loss of Embiid to at least some degree on offense. But that hasn't been the case. Granted, he's putting in work on the boards, and there's clearly some X-ray vision at work when he's passing the ball. However, this series calls for him to be the scorer he once was with the Houston Rockets, and although we've seen flashes of that player over the last year and a half, those performances have been far and few in between. Miami will put pressure on Philly defensively, and the struggling Sixers will once again fail to overcome on the road. Jimmy Butler and company will do enough offensively to roll to a second straight victory in the series. This is not the Sixers team from the regular season. Our total pick is over 206.5 points. The Philadelphia 76ers are averaging 108.7 points on 48% shooting and allowing 103.6 points on 44.4% shooting. Tyrese Maxey is averaging 21 points and 4.4 assists, while Tobias Harris is averaging 19.1 points and 2.6 assists. James Harden is the third double-digit scorer, and Danny Green is dishing 1.1 assists. The Philadelphia 76ers are shooting 37.4% from beyond the arc and 85.5% from the free throw line. The Philadelphia 76ers are allowing 29.2% shooting from deep and are grabbing 41.1 rebounds per game. Philadelphia got past Toronto in 6 games, but even though they were blowing out the Raptors in Game 6, they left Joel Embiid in the game, and he got hurt and is out for at least the first few games of this series. In Game 1, they led by 1 at the half but fell apart in the second half to lose the game 106-92. Philadelphia was led by Tobias Harris who dropped 27, while Tyrese Maxey had 19, while James Harden scored a disappointing 16 points. The Miami Heat are averaging 108.8 points on 46% shooting and allowing 96.5 points on 43.8% shooting. Jimmy Butler is averaging 27.4 points and 8 rebounds, while Tyler Herro is averaging 14.8 points and 3.3 rebounds. Bam Adebayo is the third double-digit scorer, and Max Strus is grabbing 3.2 rebounds. The Miami Heat are shooting 32.9% from beyond the arc and 80.6% from the free throw line. The Miami Heat are allowing 30.1% shooting from deep and are grabbing 41.2 rebounds per game. Miami started out slow, but in the second half, they outscored Philadelphia 30-21 in the third quarter and 26-20 in the fourth quarter to cruise to a win. Miami was led by Tyler Herro off the bench who dropped 25, while Bam Adebayo had a double-double with 24 points and 12 rebounds. Jimmy Butler chipped in with 15, while PJ Tucker and Gabe Vincent both dropped 10. The Heat finished first in the East this season with a record of 53-29 and went 29-12 at home this season. In the regular season, they went 2-2 with both teams going 1-1 at home. In the playoffs, Miami has been led by Jimmy Butler, who averaged 27.4 ppg, while Herro is averaging 14.8 and Adebayo is averaging 14.3. They are also shooting 46% from the field and 32.9% from 3 in the playoffs, compared to 46.7% from the field and 37.9% from 3 in the regular season. Phoenix Suns vs Dallas Mavericks. Our team pick is Phoenix -6. And here is why. Dallas Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic was ready for Game 1, but, unfortunately, not many of his teammates followed suit. Doncic scored 45 points and had 12 rebounds and 8 assists, but it was not enough in a 121-114 Game 1 loss. Only 3 other Mavericks scored in double figures in the game as the Suns shut down Doncic's supporting cast in the loss. Maxi Kleber chipped in with 19 points off the bench for a Mavericks team making their first second-round appearance in Doncic's Mavericks career. While Doncic was terrific in Game 1, the Mavs will need a stronger output from players like Dinwiddie and Brunson in Game 2. Even Keepler, who finished with the second most points, scored 16 of his 19 points in the first half. Dallas was dominated on the glass to the tune of 51-36 in the game. The Mavericks typically play a smaller lineup with Doncic more active on the glass, but they may need to utilize more of Dwight Powell in Game 2. Powell played just 16 minutes in the opener and only had 1 rebound. Expect to see an increase in minutes from Powell to combat the length of the Phoenix big men. Will the real Phoenix Suns please stand up? In Game 1, with a healthy starting lineup back in place, the Suns looked like the team that dominated the NBA for much of this season in a 121-114 win over Dallas. DeAndre Ayton scored 25 points and Devin Booker scored 23 points in just his second game back from a hamstring injury that cost him 3 games in the first round. Phoenix came out smoking, with a quick 9-0 lead that they would never relinquish. The Suns never trailed in the game and led by 18 points after 3 quarters. They shot nearly 51% from the field and dominated the glass in the win. While not known as a particularly physical team, the Suns exerted their will on the glass against Dallas in Game 1. Featuring the advantage of length with both Ayton and JaVale McGee have more length than any of the Mavs' rotational players, and that advantage was evident in Game 1. The Suns have now won 10 straight games versus the Mavericks dating back to last season and including the postseason. Most encouraging for the Suns was the play of Booker. Booker looked fluid and added 8 assists and 9 rebounds to his 23-point performance. Booker was also second on the team in minutes played with 38. It will be interesting to see what adjustments Dallas head coach Jason Kidd makes in Game 2. These two teams last met in January prior to Sunday night, so the Mavs haven't played Phoenix with this new smaller rotation until Sunday. In January, the Mavs out-rebounded Phoenix by 10 with a lineup that featured 7th-tier Kristaps Porzingis at center. Now, the Mavs lineup primarily has Kleber in the game as the de facto 5-man, and he's more suited away from the basket. Doncic led the Mavs with 12 rebounds in Game 1, and no other player had more than 6. Phoenix exploited this by pounding the ball inside to Ayton and rarely doubling on Doncic on the defensive end. Doncic came through with 45 points, but he lacked the support from Dallas's well-covered wing players. Doncic and Kleber combined for 64 points and shot 54% from the floor. The other Mavericks players shot 19 for 48 and 39%. Phoenix may decide to further hamper the Mavs and put Crowder exclusively on Kleber in Game 2, which will further tax Brunson, Dinwiddie, and others to produce. Until I see an adjustment from the Mavs, I see the Suns rolling again. Our total pick is under 216.5 points. The Dallas Mavericks allowed Phoenix to shoot over 50% in Game 1 and gave up 121 points to the Suns. During the postseason, Dallas is allowing an average of just 102.1 points per game, and prior to the loss on Monday, was allowing less than 100 points per game in 6 previous postseason games. Dallas is allowing an average of 45.7 rebounds per game, while averaging just 37.4 boards per contest. The leading rebounder for Dallas is Luka Doncic with an average of 11.0 boards per game. Reggie Bullock leads in steals with 1.4 per game and Doncic is the SWAT leader with an average of 1.0 blocks per game. Phoenix defeated New Orleans in 6 games of their opening round series and opened with a victory over Dallas in the conference semifinals, but the Suns are giving up too much on defense. Phoenix is allowing an average of 110.4 points per game. The Suns are allowing an average of 44.1 rebounds per game, including giving up 13.9 offensive boards per contest. The leading rebounder in the postseason for Phoenix is DeAndre Ayton with an average of 9.6 boards per contest. Chris Paul is the leader in steals with an average of 1.7 per game and Michael Bridges is the leader in blocked shots with an average of 1.6 swats per game. The Dallas Mavericks will be eager to bounce back in this one after coming up short to the Suns in a 121-114 loss in Game 1 on Monday. Luka Doncic led the team with 45 points, 12 rebounds and 8 assists. Maxi Kleber drained 5 three-pointers to finish with 19 points off the bench, while Dorian Finney-Smith chipped in with 15 points. As a team, the Mavericks shot 47% from the field and 16 of 39 from the three-point line as they struggled to contain the Suns right from the start and never looked threatening after falling behind by double digits in the first quarter. Jalen Brunson couldn't find his rhythm until the game was well over while Spencer Dinwiddie scored just 8 points in 30 minutes off the bench. The Phoenix Suns will have their eyes on going up 2-0 in the series after cruising past the Mavericks in an easy win on Monday. DeAndre Ayton led the team in scoring with 25 points on 12 of 20 shooting. Devin Booker racked up 23 points with 9 rebounds and 8 assists. Chris Paul scored 19 points, while Cameron Johnson chipped in with 17 points off the bench. As a team, the Suns shot 50% from the field and 11 of 28 from the three-point line as they hit the ground running and exploded for 35 points in the first quarter to take the early double-digit lead, which ballooned to 21 points before they rested a few starters. Disclaimer: no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.